Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, congregation. My name is Ndjadila Tate Philippus, aka Lakaboy. And I am here to give a speech on behalf of the Ndjadila grandchildren as well as the great-grandchildren. So first a disclaimer that I'm going to give my speech in English because that is what Tatekulu definitely would have wanted. You're going to speak English. So that is what I'm going to do. Before I continue, I would like to call all the grandchildren, all the great-grandchildren to the altar to please just come join me. Tate, as I used to call him, Tatekulu's impact on our lives was immense. And just to see how immense that impact was, just look at the size of the family, of the grandchildren that are surrounding me. And bear in mind that we are not fully represented here today. There are a lot of other people, other cousins, aunts, uncles, who could unfortunately not make it today. Amongst others, my brother Joshua, my cousins Harry, Daryl, Cindy, Mersha, and Neville Ndjadila. Although they are not here with us in body, they are here with us in spirit and in prayer. So if you ask any one of us standing here in front of you today what Tatekuru's favorite memory was, they will say without hesitation, the fact that he allowed us to eat for free at the restaurant. Yes. Obas will say it was those trips to Dolphin Park where we had the bestest of time. And Tatekulu would say, Mea Wata, I'm taking you to Mea Wata today. Yaren would say, it was when Tatekulu would call him, Yaren, my nephew. I don't know if Yaren is here, but Yaren asked me to say that. The point that I'm trying to make is that we all have our individual memories and experiences with Tatekulu, and that have shaped and defined who we are today. But what demonstrates Tatekulu's success is the values and principles in the way that he lived his life. We all share them today because that is what he taught us. Because of how Tatekulu lived his life, we know what a gentleman is. Because of how Tatekulu lived his life, we know God. Because of how he lived his life, we know what hard work looks like. Because of how he lived his life, we are not afraid to fail. Because of how he lived his life, we know exactly what leadership is. Because he lived his life, we know what family is. And most importantly, because of how he lived his life, we now know how to love. Lamentations 3, verse 31 to 32 says, For God will not cast off forever, but he will have compassion according to the abundance of his steadfast love. For he does not willingly afflict or aggrieve the children of men. Dear congregation, beloved family, God saw Tatekulu getting tired, and a cure was not to be. So he put his arm around him and he whispered, Come to me. With tearful eyes, you watched him suffer and fade away. Although we loved him so dearly, we just could not make him stay. A golden heart stopped beating. Hard-working hands were put to rest. God broke the Ndjadila chain to prove to us that he only takes the best. Tatekulu, we salute you, and we will always have you in our hearts. The time we spent with you turned into treasured memories. Even in your death, we will miss your wisdom, pure love, as well as your understanding heart, which you shared with every soul that you touched. Your laughter and kindness are forever engraved in our souls and will echo on forever. As we put you to rest, Tatekulu, we are happy and we are grateful for the eternal love that you have shown us throughout the years. You loved all of us equally, and you remembered every single one of us, even into your old age. If we were to search the entire universe, we will never find a grandfather or a great-grandfather who is as loyal and caring as you were to us. Yes, you will definitely be missed, but we all know that you are exactly where you need to be. We love you, Tatekulu. May your soul rest in eternal peace. In conclusion, I just want to tell my father, my uncles, and my aunts that where there is loss, we must remember that there is another life with God in heaven. Revelations 21, verse 4 says, He will wipe away tears from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain, for all those former things have passed away. Dearest family, God did not promise days without pain. He didn't promise laughter without sorrow, nor did he promise sun without rain. But he did promise strength for the day, comfort for the tears, and light for the way. Please take that with you. Thank you, dearest congregation. Thank you, Pastor.
Paise ndala siko kupandula tate kalunga sikale tupatate etutekula ndete tulongo maene mawa ne njawo takalunga diko he tukamete na dodo ko kumaitifangeke tusangu nine ila tutangulina ina tudengwa atu kumaita alu so video ko matango o tuifana ndete tulongo le nyima ya kalunga ye efimbolo matango manene ndela fiki te tulongo o indiro nona o esitanga kalunga kondu dite entunga kutate sasi ukalonga ilonga ya eiwa de na kalunga tempandula sinduete de tempo masiku male kombata ebesgopo gengo watale uno na apatifike ala bari uno na kuye de to dira apatifike peifio totale simbola o te kucholi le sidi de ina solola ni maisha ya kala sidi mwingira ngasiri uma kumaitwa yo kulinga sheri o le ayo ilinga ya kala paise onde aske kuyanje lukando ko nirene wa kutawe sawa tu hapo genga upati wengi na pamoja tusikane sisi kujange no ndingeshe hapo takikama akinota sala kwetuka umayele mawa ukutiro bakulunu ukulongo ilonga ya komake no kutila umalongelo kalunga maya kuki ya ina nandi ni maile unene onda hala kisa kuwenda ko kuno na range osesi ama mukana kaka kula umeumbola Ndjadila ngende ya mukikulo tetesi la komba hombola ukajua de ndajale ntunga dinya duhadinga ko duno na we hindidi de yo haikulile kuyo ndajja pasike sinda kulanda ngendunga kangeno makome ipensi kwa landula kiyonene ilonga ya kala halongo onda kala yondi ndi yambekelo kukalunga kanti ilongo yomongeleka onge onda pandula ke kale pola tate seturongo una nanyeta dini ne omadira tiro kala ini mutaka ahente o nani nge kweni mwasikule fimbwalise nani dira ndo kwa dimba kulenya nandu o talongo ni mumbo unene tu o aluse kande singa shove o wakula pauno nkumo okukala omayirikano nokupandula kalunga esitaten kuli yongani vamos a pasar la fortuna na tune dulo neno nani de o fi holding que no tu ya ko itlani ya alini no kum
Ewijo kume tariziku ambassador Menir Elia Kayamu
to the Ndjadila family. This came from Dr. Elia J. Kayamo, Ambassador to China. He writes as follows: I have learned with sadness about the death of Comrade Tate Uncle Joshua Paulus Ndjadila, fondly known by some of us as Tate Mandume, especially among his peers. I came to know and appreciate him as a founder member of OPPO in the movement in the 1959 and 1960 respectively. Him and late Mahwili, late Kahumba, late Yatoivo, late Nanyemba, Israel Yayona, Nangolo Jayakob, and many others like Comrade Ben Amadila, were the driving forces behind the founding process of our able movement, and since then he has been playing this active role. Tate Mandume was a gentleman of a unique kind and in his own league. It was also comfortable to be in his company. It did not really matter your age. He made everybody welcome. He liked and loved all the children, especially in Walvis Bay and in Namibia. As a veteran of our struggle, he completed his historical mission as entrusted by the movement and by the Namibian historical realities. It is against this background that I would like to convey the message of condolences on behalf of my mission and the Namibian nationals in China, Mongolia, Vietnam, and Democratic Republic of Korea. I will not be able to join you during the memorial and funeral of the veteran of our struggle, but my thought and prayers are with you. May Tate Mandume, patriotic and kind soul, rest in eternal peace. The message from Comrade Dr. Elia Kayamo to the family.
Andrako oblogatera Lu Water Sport Club Temba Nitang Napo.
Director of Proceeding, the congregation of Hosianna, Quisapun, the bereaved family, dear mourners, allow me to read a tribute to Tatekulu Joshua Paulus Ndjadila on behalf of Blue Water Sports Club. We as the Blue Water family would like to express our sincere and heartfelt condolences on the passing of Tatekulu Joshua Paulus Ndjadila. Words are inadequate to fully express the sadness for his loss. It is with great doubt that he was a respected and familiar figure around Walvis Bay, in particular as a committed worker at the metal box and as a businessman, an elder of the Hosianna Evangelical Lutheran Church. Community members, and most important, our supporters of the Blue Water Soccer Club. While he was working at the metal box, Tatekulu Ndjadila was also part of the group that facilitated employment for a sizable number of our players. At that company metal box, he have at the same time also ensure the provision of food stock for the team as a chef. He played a pivotal role in the growth and development of Blue Water through monetary and material means. He will often offer his vehicle to transport the players of the netball and the soccer player to different destinations. One will find Tatekulu Ndjadila on a windy day at the soccer field while the team was practicing. Especially the second team was the most team that the elder people were having a heart for, because the second team those years have do better than the first team. So the old people in Walvis Bay have divided themselves, especially the old people that, no, I would rather support the second team. The second team doesn't disappoint us. His house was a Blue Water house with both excellent football and netball players. It's greatly important to mention that Tatekulu Ndjadila's children played for Blue Water. Football, Paulus Ndjadila was a very dangerous man. I recall myself, in the 70s, Paulus Ndjadila, when he was still at Agustinium, if he comes to play for Blue Water, then we know, we are for sure, we're not going to lose that game. Not at all, as long as Boy and River Econia are there. I recall one day when Tatekulu Ndjadila, as a popular figure of this community, he used to assist the community of Quisatmon. There was a place called Sonskane and Barlinga. I'm not going to mention the last name, but those who know Sonskane and Barlinga, what's there for? People used to buy their stuff there, and Tatekulu Ndjadila delivered them from house to house. So, the next moment, Tatekulu Ndjadila stopped next to our house. And Boy, as a young boy from school, was assisting his father to offload all those, whatever. So when I saw Boy, to me, it was the hero. So I walked next to Boy and I touched him. Just that touch. That was so important. It was very important. So then Boy told me, it's good that you're here. Go to that house. You see that house? Because he likes his left hand. Go to that house. There's a guy named Jerry. Tell him to put his shoes on and go to the field. Blue Water is playing now. So I ran quickly. When I came there, I asked, is Jerry here? It was C22's house. C22 Ipondoga. And then there was a short guy like this. His name was Jerry Makubesi. So I told him, hey, Boy say, Treganyo, Hispanspielno. So I checked this boy and then I said, yo, so I tell all the guys in the street, hey, Blue Water, so we went down there and the guy performed. It was very excellent. Then, in the 80s as well as in the 90s, with Denver, I don't need to say anything. You have seen himself performing here. He performed the same on the soccer field as well. If you see him performing here, that was exactly what Denver was performing on the soccer field. Excellent. Always. He never failed, except that he failed one thing today. Laban Ndjadila, also a very good soccer player. But with Laban, let me pause here. Now with Laban caused a havoc in the house. Since the Blue Water was very difficult to enter, to earn yourself a place in Blue Water, whether it's a first team or second team, it was very difficult. I think Elder Imbili can testify that even themselves, they were struggling to attend. Casting the first team was not easy. So Laban finds the way very tough to penetrate either the second team or the first team. So Laban decided he's going to join 11 Arrows. So Laban went and joined 11 Arrows. And there was a tournament. Laban was playing for 11 Arrows. Yo, that was war. When Laban came home, he found a huge meeting in the house. All those toppies in that street. Hey, they were caucus with Tatekulu Njadila. Your son is playing for 11 Arrows. What happened? How did it happen? Why did you allow this? So the meeting was on. And then Laban said, I'm in trouble now. So the only option, Laban opted to leave Walvis Bay and find himself a place for himself in the north. Till today, he's in the north. So never there, they call her Jeffro Kandeshi Kalomo. Jeffro Kandeshi Kalomo was dangerous. People, you only see her now like, Jeffro Kandeshi, Jeffro Kandeshi. My dear, she was a dangerous player. There was a tournament in Walvis Bay. Jeffro Kandeshi was in Windu by that time. And as she was in Windu, of course, school, she used to play for Tiger as well. But when she at home, she played for Blue Water. Keumbo, Keumbo. So that tournament took ages to take place or to kick off because there was a huge argument. If Rukandeshi need to play for Blue Water. And Tiger said, no, we brought her along. She need to play for Tigers. No, she need to play for Blue Water. So the argument was so long and distracted the whole tournament. But nevertheless, you must be good so that each and everyone can fight for you. So keep on being so good, Jeffro Kandeshi. Fangi, I'm sorry, man. Fangi. Sport was never a cup of coffee for you. I know me and you've got our own cup of coffee. That we. Claudia, Besia, Claudia, ambassador. I used to call her ambassador. So, Claudia was a very good player as well. Also played very good for Blue Water as well, for Tiger as well. But there's one thing Claudia also did. She was excellent in netball, in high jump. High jump. But the one thing is, you see, in our, especially our black people, when we do athletic, high jump, people jump with their back. But we blacks, we jump straight like this and land on the other side. So that's why she couldn't even qualify for Olympics. She would have medals by today. That technique of jump with your back wasn't there. But as an ambassador, I think there was a time that they were on their way to play netball in South Africa, and she forgot to check her passport. The passport is Carl expired. And then, luckily, before they reached the border, she was checking, or they were buying passport somewhere, and then she found out, passport would expire. But nevertheless, now she is aware about those documentation to be on time. So, Johanna Sidute, yes, I know you were there. Johanna Sidute, that is Tatekulu Njadila's day. Johanna Sidute, you were there, you were playing that netball as well, but not for so long. With his children exploiting playing career with Blue Waters in both football and netball, it further inspired other families in Quisepon to play this great club, play for this great club. He's the last generation who greatly played his part in the life of Blue Water. Tatekulu Njadila was a Blue Water. Tatekulu Njadila was a. Oh my goodness. System is failing me. Okay. on earth, and the fact that we could all attest that he left by the meaning of the name, which means the Lord is my salvation. On behalf of Blue Water and on behalf of myself, I will therefore once more extend our profound condolences to the Ndjadila family and hope that our words of support may help bringing some comfort and strength during this difficult period. This letter was written by Tembang Itaunapo, Vice Chairman of Blue Water. Thank you.
Goeienaand, bedroefde vrienden, bedroefde familie. Ik wil voor u groet en daar in wonderlijke naam van onze Heer Jezus Christus. Dank je. Ja, nadat ons hierdie tijden gehoord het ons met Tate Boeboe wiki gesels en toen ons daar praat, toen zei Tate Boeboe, nee, Tate was 100 jaar. En voor dit hoef ons niet te heilen, want dit is een milestone. Tate het haar leven geleid. Zo, hij is heen gegaan, met haar rest gegaan. Zo, ons moet het zo aanvaarden en ons moet niet constant en treuren oor, want dit is een groot... Dit gebeurt en hulle dit aanvaarden. Zo, ik ga dit indelen. Lieve familie, lieve bedroefde vrienden, ik wil voor u met u praten. Die eerste ding waarover ik wil praten is, profeet Jesaja het voor u. Hiskia, toen Hiskia ziek geworden heeft, heeft gezegd, berei jou huis, want je zal sterven. Berei jou huis voor, want je zal sterven. En ik geloof vast, Tate het zijn loopbaan voorbereid. Het zijn leven voorbereid en toen hij heen ging, toen was hij gereed. Hij was gereed voor alles. Hiermee wil ik een paar dingen aanhalen. Tate was een ouderlijk in die gemeente in haar jong dagen, tot in de laatste dagen. En uit Tate's huis is daar ook ouderling uitgekomen. Met mijn conditie, onze samen als ouderlingen ingezien in Oranjemoen, ik denk dat was 2009. Als het brecht is. In Hosianna, eindigend in Asante gemeente. En toen kom ik terug in Walvis en ik bleef hier. 2020, toen word ik met Tate Boeboe ook ingezien als ouderlingen. En ik zie hulle die pa zijn voetsporen gevolgd. Hulle het die pa zijn voetsporen gevolgd, want Tate het zeker gemaakt, laat dat uit die huis ouderlinge moet uitkomen en die twee het uitgekomen. Ons gee eer aan die held wat geval het. Die held het gaan lê. Maar voor hy gaan gelei het, het hy seker gemaak dat sy pad voorbereid is. En soos alle vorige sprekers gepraat het, hoe hulle die Vader geprys het en hoe hulle van die Pa gepraat het, kon ons gesien het, ja, dit was die moeite werd. Alles wat hy gedoen het, was dit tot ere van die Here. Hy het sy huis goed goed opgevoed. En hy was so seker dat eendag as ek sterwe, wil hy 'n legacy agterlaat van my huis moet daar ouderlinge wees. Want soos ons gelees het van in die wat profeet Jesaja aan Hosea gesê het, maak jou gereed want jy sal sterwe. Ek onthou op 'n dag, toe ek 3 maande terug het ek en pastoor vir Tate nagmaal gaan bedien by Paulus se huis. En toe ons daar kom by die huis, Tate was al voorberei daarvoor. Al was dit so dat hy nie duidelik kon gehoor het nie, maar hy was voorberei. Dit wat vir ons gewys het dat Tate se lewensloopbaan was al beplan en hy was al gereed. Ons het nie gesukkel daarvoor dan en alles het goed gegaan. En hy het die nagmaal goed ontvang en dit het vir ons bewys dat ja, hy het saamgestem met die woord van die Here. En ten slotte wil ek toch vra, as die ouderlinge is, maak nie saak van wat die denominasie u is, laat u net opstaan waar u is. Alle ouderlinge. Ouderlinge, kan julle asseblief opstaan? Baie dankie. Liewe ouderlinge, ja, die held het gevaar. Die held het vir ons voorbeelde bewys. Nou moet ons self in onsself begin kyk. As 'n ouderling, 'n man wat sy huis gedraai het, sy kruis gedraai het, sy lewe so aan die Here gegee het. Ons wat vir ons vandag ouderlinge noem. Ek dink dis tyd wat ons ook ons voorbeelde moet vat van ou helde wat geval het. Kom ons berei ons lewens voor, want ons staan in die diens aan die Here. Kom ons berei ons lewens voor, laat ons ook 'n legacy in ons lewens hê. Kom ons berei ons voor en laat ons ernstig met die woord van die Here sal wees. Want wanneer die tyd gaan aanbreek, laat ons kan staan en sê, ja, ek is gereed om te gaan. En laat ons nie gaan twyfel nie. So, vir alle ouderlinge, dit is 'n taak op ons skouers wat ons moet doen. Dit is 'n taak op ons skouers. Kom ons staan op en staan vas in die geloof van die Here. Baie dankie. Mag dat... Sorry. En mag dat as 'n siel rus in. Baie dankie.
Ja, baie dankie Christen. Dit is so. Appel lewensloopbaan van Tate te gee, maar toe het Denboy gesien man, hy het bietjie ons kwanyama en onjove ingesit en ek sal miskien dinge spoil. So, maar hy sal die lewensloopbaan kom sê, maar ek sal ook, as ek klaar is, sal ook my soos insit. Elodie, from the sun.
very important section that I'm going to address. And the grace of God, which surpasses all possible human understanding, be with you all. Amen. You must bear with me that I'm going to read to you information of 101 years in a space of about 10, 15, 20 minutes. It was a good beginning. It is a good ending. I'm going to read my father's eulogy, and it reads as follows. The year was 1920 on the 3rd of December, when happiness came to Paulus Ndjadila and Memelina Nailoke Kwanambwa Ndiofa, were the birth of their firstborn, Joshua Paulus Ndjadila. Tatekulu Joshua was born at Okalondo in the north, Okalondo Kandame Shime, in the year 1920. He was baptized at Ngela and confirmed in Ongenga together with the likes of Petrina Johannes Yakangono, to name but one. He married his youthful sweetheart, Mekaupua Christiana Ngole, at a reception in Okalondo in 1956, where they lived before moving to Walvis Bay. He attended his primary school at Elakalapua, where he was taught by Memesara Shilongo, who was very fond of him as a learner, before going to Ongenga, where he was taught by Joseph Shifeta, who is father of the current minister, Pohambaya Shifeta, before moving to St. Mary's Mission School, which was an English school. Now you know why he was so fluent in English at Odimbo. He was there for 2 years until he qualified as a teacher, but he never went to fulfill his teaching career due to reason I will quote now. Now you understand why many of his daughters are teachers, the likes of Yefro, Fangi, and Kito. During the outbreak of the World War II, his father was earmarked to go to war as a soldier, but because the old man didn't want to go to war, Tatekulu Ndjadila opted to go to war in his father's place. He went to war and was based at Kwagasport in South Africa, where they were trained as soldiers of war, together with some important figures of the Namibian liberation struggles, the likes of Adiba Toivo and Franz Jonathan Nekuta. His number, which he knew out of his head, even if you wake him up in the middle of the night, he will quote you that number, 49455. During the training, there was a special inspection conducted by highly ranked officials to gauge the soldiers' level of competency. At this inspection ceremony, Tatekulu Ndjadila won the overall prize as the #1 ranked soldier and was awarded a special medal of integrity and honor, which he was very proud of and always used to brag with it and say, "Amonda pitile omkwaita dingi." When he returned from World War II, he joined his father back at home, and his father was pleased to see him because the people at the village were very angry why he had to send his young, talented son to go to war instead of him going. So his father saw him and he embraced him and was crying, saying, thank you, my son, that God had spared you, because if you had not come back, these people would have killed me. I, the narrator, have my own theory what that transformed into his life. I saw it as the following, and I asked the question to myself, is this maybe not the reason why God spared him for so long? His first official work was at Oraniemund, where he worked for a few years before returning to Okalondo. Thereafter, he decided to move to Walvis Bay together with his wife and 2 children, Edward Kaboy Ndjadila, born in 1957, and Dinelau Kandeshi Kalomo, born in 1959. Now you see these 2 people are actually not binary. He settled in Walvis Bay and started his first work in Walvis Bay as a translator at the magistrate court. Here he didn't last long because he was issuing his fellow Namibians with passes while they did not have the necessary supporting document. So literally speaking, he was fired. But, a big but, they released him after they have granted him a permanent pass to stay in Walvis Bay, so he could go on and seek for another work opportunity. This man was very lucky. After fired, they gave you a pass so that you could live here for eternity, permanent. That's why we got the house in the main street. We can slugger them. We slugger them. Omambo street and that's why we got this street here. It's for the people who first came to Walvis Bay, the likes of my father, Tate Billy. Yeah. His second work in Walvis Bay was at the first fishing factory named Briemont, which later became West Coast Fishing. Here he was an employee for about 3 years before moving to Metal Box. This is where he made his mark. He was appointed head chef, where he worked with his friends who later became his family by the names of Pietres Mwatunga, Sam Andreas Mitaunapo, Dan Kautwima, Joel Gepard, and the late Abraham Nendongo, to mention but a few. Here he worked for over 30 years. While Evangeline Gurira, that is now Fungi, was born at Ochimbingwe, another one who is not a binary, where he went to study as a pastor. The rest of us starting from Christophe Kandara, Denbo Ndjadila, Lava Ndjadila, Claudia Mbeshia, and Johanna Shidute were all born in Walvis Bay. We are the miners! When Metal Box retrenched them, they recommended him to Rosing Country Club, where he worked for about 5 years before he became an entrepreneur, where he opened his general dealer shop in Quissemont named Mandume Grand Shop. Obviously singing praise to the late Okwanyama chief Mandume and Fayo. He went on to become the first black person to open up a BP service station in Quissemont. Just look through the window. You will see that service station that's there. That was through my father's working that came into being. This service station is still in operation, but under another operator. Now you understand why I'm so much into service station. After his retirement, together with his wife, they relocated to Ongenga, and again he opened up a shop in Ongenga, which he and our mom operated for a few years before they finally called it quit. He never wanted to stop. When he was 95 years old, we were having a discussion with me, and he was saying, "Get on the hala, konimaye dulom longo, dikaninge shonu." 95. He was still thinking 10 years ahead, that he still had a mission he wanted to complete. That just shows you the man never wanted to stop. They went on to live a quiet life in Ongenga, enjoying their hard-won retirement. Our mother passed on about 15 years ago, and ever since he's been wishing to go to her. Now, finally, his wish has been granted. Tatekulu Ndjadila was a very difficult man. Not easy man, he was a very difficult man. He never shied away to go to police and report you. Because he will tell you, Namibia olamanguluka, Namibia okuna eveta. You see the connection from the army, the discipline, and the knowing of the law. Those three are interconnected, and that is the reason why he opted that he was going to use it as a strength. And if you go and you speak to the lawyer, that's exactly what they do. They use the language, the lawyer language as a strength in order to get to us. All of us has gone through this process. All of us, all my siblings, everyone had somewhere to do with the police because of Tate. As I stand here, I still have got a case at Ongenga. One day, I went to visit my sons in South Africa. So as I was returning and I switched on my cell phone, I was bombarded with messages that were coming in. And I wanted to listen who was looking for me. I ended listening to a police voice saying, "Den boy shonen Ndjadila dengela opolifio kongenga mendelo." And I immediately knew that my father has got to do with this. He went to report me to the police because I did not want to give him his desk license for the car. So I had to make a promise to the policeman as to when I was going to bring it. So I said to the policeman, "I just got through the border and I'm tired. Give me about 3-4 days. I will come to Ongenga and I'll bring it to him." So he was put on loudspeaker, and the next thing I heard, he said, "Alusho shahatilda." So as we speak now, I don't know who's going to withdraw the case at Ongenga. Tatekulu was peace-loving, kind, full of jokes, God-fearing, and liked to sing a lot when quiet, going about his business. He's one that we emulated when we were standing here, Dapandula o Jesus Wange. He instilled discipline and hard work into us and encouraged us to study hard, to go to school, and to enrich our knowledge. In our house, school was everything. Because he believed that with knowledge, you will go far in life. Tatekulu Ndjadila was the eldest of 7 children, but the 3 has passed on, leaving the family only with 3. The one is Tate Friedrich Diofa, Tate Diofa, dare ko fika me totano, to fika mapo, ne totano kire ongalo oporiku moni. He was the last born. The two surviving sisters are Meme Susana and Mendator Lewe. Unfortunately, they couldn't make it today to be with us. If the municipality of Walvis Bay does not name a street to him in his honor after this rich history, then I don't know. We want to thank the Almighty God for having given us such a man, a gentleman, a father, an uncle, a grandfather, a great-grandfather, for so long. 100 years is a centenary, and not everyone will be fortunate to reach this 100 years. The likes of them we will never see again. May his precious soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you, dear congregation of Walvis Bay, and I love you.
That's what I've said, that he wanted me to read theology, but he added more peri-peri in it. Yeah, I will fail in my duty if I don't say few words about Tate Ndjadila. I knew that Tate Ndjadila in the 70s. When I just left school, I started working at Mailbox, is where I find him as a head chef, as it was said. Tate Ndjadila, you know, Mailbox was one of the companies. When you were working there, it's like you are in an independent town. There's everything. Lunchtime, bacon, niet hier kapanan. En nou, die tijd toe kost, de borgos kost 50 cent. 50 cent. Omar beans and what have you. En die tijd het Tate Ndjadila just English. Zoals he said, Shokodibo. And when we were working with some of these white people there in Mailbox, Tate Ndjadila is only speaking English, and this white guy saying that, who's this guy like to politic? And then we as youngsters, we start with, Tate Ndjadila, how are you? Now I'm fine, my son, how are you? No, we're fine. Can I have please one plate for lunchtime and what? I said, no, those are my sons, don't worry with them. I remember one day, about the wedding when I'm up. It's not here. Now you know that it's a cook. En ons jong ouens het daarvan gehou om grappig te speel. Dan het jy die tamaties so gemors en dan het jy dat die Ndjadila besluit neem. Ek sal nou hierdie tamaties chutney net so na bier op die tafel sit. As hy ook kom en koop sy bord, ek gaan sit daar, sy vat sy lepel so. Nou hierdie tyd is die tyd wat die ouens van ons Chivarongo goed afkom en kan dit nou so inambia by mama. Die bijna ons was ons voor. En dan die ik ook weer nog die was klaar voorgelopen met verke, Mr. Brown. No, about de andere ons van het Chivarongo, wat hulle hierdie chutney en hierdie pensie, doet dan hulle nagerecht. Dat kon dat auto goed houden die jong. Ja, maar moet ik jong. So we laughed at those guys from Chivarongo and we loved them. So That was when we were working with Tate Ndjadila. At home in Quisapmun, later Ndjadila and my late father were close friends. They served in the congregation as elders. And Meme, Kautua and my late mother, they were with Fukua Christus. Now, as it was said that Ndjadila was a business person. Now I'm at home after school, and the mothers, they are sitting there and yatura kongaro ne tapupi. Tapupi. Do you remember kapataro bure mi mekarianda the deal? Oh, why do? Chai mombanga muno. Onko ya uti kamara poje sigo ponje mpe. Umamari wata garu. But she used to go with him to town, set Lensford, Tate Ndjadila permit say tas, he can do bengings. No se meme, but it's a langer, no dismiss, seen as a kinsel, make your voice and what no se, yeah, they shine in Pueblo, men. To take that and they know, because you go on the bay. Mekarina at Guinea. The tea, why? Shaimon Bangamon. Oh, we didn't study Pitipara, what so now that's what we said that these two mothers, when they were sitting there, and whenever they talk before they come to the group where they used to meet, the bride of Christ, then it's where how we became elders, they were our role model. Whenever they see us, they will tell you, Anon, Denny, when you come to the soccer, you must come and you guys must come and to the church so that we can clean up. That's why when I said our role model, it was about that. I will remember I was older than him, and he always admired my father, and through that, as it was said that he did not have younger and older. He was a father, he was a friend to the youngest and oldest. That's why I am so pleased that you siblings, you have been brought up, and whenever people saw you, they admire you. The Ndjadila family. Be proud of that man who brought you up. All what he was doing was to see his family grown up, given good education. What he has done for you will be enjoyable. And with this few words, as a witness being grown up in the street, Ndjadila went to rest. He had done his part. It's not us who are left behind. His legacy will live on, and that is a promise. As long as we are here to hold hands, be example to this beautiful town of Walvis Bay, and wherever you are, don't forget that Walvis Bay is home to live. Because whenever the father, the last moment he visited you all, I was communicating with Boy. Now he's not at home. He's a life of a Christian, a God-fearing person, rests in eternal peace, I think. Delivered by Pastor Frederick. It is only through this way that we can find comfort. Because
en vrede vir julle van God, onze Vader en die Here Jesus Christus. Uit U en deur U en tot U is alle dinge. Aan U behoort die heerlikheid tot in ewigheid. Amen.
Kapudong Profionena, Otaza Membo Jom Prophet Yesaya, Toporo Mirongo Hamano na Hamano, Kashono Katini Longo, Sigo Katini Longo no Katine, Tatikine, Melina Joma, Nanukiveni Pamena Yerusalem, Igualeni, Omoracho Amokamboka, Mukoles Lopez. Nanukiveni Pamena Yerusalem, Igualeni Omoracho Amokamboka, Mukoles Shika. Nanukiveni Pamena So, Gasile Amokamboka, Wazirire. Osoka Tamu, Yamu, Tamukuta, Komawuji, Komahupurito, Gasho. Otamiamu, Mukutirire, Etanyanu Kiva, Komawuji, Gasho Kapura. Omataki, Otanika Mugarulira, Umbiriafa, Omlonga, Uyamba, Winji, Otauka, Kundukira Kune, Wafa Efunja. Otamtaka, Omnonatayamu, Komawujigaina, Takuinina, Notafekere Panokore. Otanika Musakurusira, Yerusalem, Gasina, Tafemburusa, Omana. Unatamono inima, Bikatai, Wanitwa. Otamkanyamu kwa. Otaimu koreke no kumu aruda. Nena otamkatse ya kucha ongame. Omwata ndikwata bokaha kulika kungame. Notanigere ato dianje. Ompagaza musamaron tiari. Beriso samaron tiari. Toporo miro mambalina inwe. Toporo mirongo. Sorry. Samara mutiari, samara wotango. Toporo tikheari, kashono mirongo olongo nambari. Dokata ditinge imebina joma. Nina samara kwaku kaemanya. Eteridike pokatika mispa na esna. Okweli ruku eben ese. Emanya de kwato. Etati sigo mpaka omwa okwetu kwata.
Laat ons saambid. Barmhartig en genadig is U. U is langmoedig, Here Jesus. Daarom kom, Here, en kom troos ons. U kinders luister. Amen. Liewe bedroefde Roodlande Christen vriende, laat my toe. Oh mama, wat was daar? Waar is jy? Is hy uit?
Yeah.
'n eerbetoning voor hom neer.
Arila sa akholiken, bata korokan pakanena, atu seni ongoro ko sipara shoma.
Kom ons kniel voor die Here ons Skepper.
Seni ongoro koma omsiki wetu.
Hy is ons God en ons is sy volk.
Shokarawe karunga ketu notse oshiwanashe.
Sy kudde,
Onzi dusitawe,
ons is sy skape.
se onzi dusitawe.
Ons behoort aan die Here, al het ons gesterf of lewe.
Se oyoma, turi ngomonyo nenge turi meso, se oyoma.
Ons wil vanaand ons fokus stel op die woord Ebenezer.
Wahara tare no tuskan hamene koshi chano ke tumuro doka eben ese.
Tot hiertoe het die Here vir ons gespaar.
Wakata kutumburu wa kucha sigo mpaka omwa, okwetu kwata omwa, okuripa mwenati.
Maar kom ons kyk na die naam Joshua.
Pena tutare ni oketi na Joshua kucha atari kipekelo tari kipekili.
Jy moet oplettend wees.
Una udibirika tari ki, una okudibirika.
Jy moet creative wees. Creative.
Una kukara una unongo weta kota.
Jy's 'n gelukkige mens.
Ongwe ongerao.
'n moderne mens.
Ontu wopesi mojana kanena.
'n bekwame mens.
Ontu mboka ena nasite.
Jy is 'n goddelike mens.
Ongwe ontu woma, ongwe ontu wakarunga.
God has delivered you.
Onwa okokweta koka.
Joshua in Hebrew is derived from the same name as Jesus.
Edina Joshua. Iro tatu itara tatu keri kona moshi hebeli. Ojina ekwecho tariti Jesus.
Daar's 'n tweede naam van Tate ook, Paulus.
Kuna edina tatakulu kwajena edina kakereka Joshua. Okwajena edina Paulus.
Net so een voet of small or a very humble person.
Edina ndoka don tumbo ka wifu pipiki.
Maar as ek hierdie eienskap, hierdie karakteristiek kyk, dan sien ek almal is bietjie hastig van die kinders.
Gerando tani tara kwachawo wa baba ya tate Joshua niga tate Paulus. Aike umo karondo ka kuronga kima nonju mno edere.
Jy vind elk van hierdie eienskappe in een of ander kind van Tate.
Ito mono andora kwachawa tate kulu mama bawa.
Maar die boek van Tate het ons toegemaak.
Ke panja nenge embo mota marima noa umkaramanyo ya tate kulu ojata.
Tot hiertoe het die Here vir ons almal gebring.
Omboka takutumbura eben eser sigo mpaka omma ukotu pikita.
In die begin het God die aarde geskape.
Tame omma pasiki ehune.
En alles wat hy op hierdie aarde geskape het, was wel gedaan.
Na isa ndokaya siki komba David big komba David ka oyari opara.
Maar God plaas iemand net nie op 'n plek nie. Hy berei eers hierdie plek voor hy die mens daar plaas.
Gao maita siki kontu eten turara poka ito kuna kuno kita no kuna kuno kita ekara poka tentura no tentura.
So het hierdie twee ouers hulle se kinders voorberei. Hulle se lewens reggemaak en gesê tot hiertoe.
Jika tu simono ma barimba kayari, ero mekida ubarawa, ya tu beras jika eben ese si wonka.
Maar van hier vanaf vorentoe, hoe gaan ons sonder ons groot mense?
Na epuro dilimba kakucha kuzampano, otatu ingini monka romanunka, dotatu kenda mongira mkangi fana abani.
Maar hy laat julle nie alleen nie. Hy los sy trooster agterna.
Omboka turongo kucha, nande abare kutihipo, nende okume kutihipo, oma ite tweka otatu pe, okotu tigram tekereki.
Hy het seker gemaak elke een het sy eie blyplekkie.
Okaya pasiri pare kuku
Hy het seker gemaak dat julle julle eie lewens het. Hy het seker gemaak julle is Godvreesend. Want jy kan alles op hierdie aarde het, maar as jy nie God het nie, daar is dit te vergeefs. So sê Tate vanaand vir julle Ebenezer tot hiertoe het dit julle gebring. Bring julle by die Jordaan. Nou moet julle sien om self aan die kant die Jordaan te kom. Nou moet die Here self vir julle aan die kant die Jordaan opvat. Daar sal daar kom, daar sal feestdae kom, waar julle se ouers sal vermis. Maar daarvoor het hy julle al klaar voorberei. Liewe Christenvriende, daar is nie 'n ander weg wat ek u vir vanaand sal voorhou nie. Ek gee u vanaand Jesus as julle se kompas in die lewe. Ek gee julle vanaand Jesus as julle se lig in hierdie donker wêreld. Ek gee Jesus aan u as die brood van die lewe. Ek gee julle vanaand Jesus as die ware bron van die water van die lewe. As julle van hom drink, as julle van hom eet, dan sal julle nie honger kry. No, you will get hungry. Liewe Christenvriende, want so lief het God hierdie wêreld gehad, dat hy sy enige geborene as 'n losprys aan die kruis vir ons gegee het. As julle net vir hom moet volg, sal julle op die regte pad wees. Julle sal probeer wat hy gedoen het na af, maar it won't be the same. Dat is goed, as ouderling sal jy probeer so sopa preek, maar jy sal nie reg kry nie. Wat God aan Tate Mandume gegee gehad het, was net aan hom gegee. But remember, we will judge him. Ay, hulle is so hulle se pa. Die wêreld sal van julle verwag dat julle moet perform soos wat julle se ouers perform het. Maar daar is net een rolmodel en dit is Jesus Christus. Wie portret wat Jesus gedoen het, sal die regte kan doen. Daarom het dit donker geword vir julle op die onder. Maar as julle daar die liggaam van julle Vader môre op in die aarde sal stel, dan moet julle ophef en opdek na die berge, waarvan dan julle se hulp sal kom. Take up your cross, which the God has given you now and today. En kom ons volg hierdie goeie God. Net hy alleen sal ons verlosser wees.
Sokawe awike takara un kupiti no mangu ni wotu.
Net hy alleen is so magtig dat hy kon gesê het, kom na my toe. Almal wat vermoeid en belast is, en ek sal julle die vrede gee.
We awike mboka na mkondo na ngoka tatumbura kuja ile lipungame amukara murongo no maroko kipa.
Kom na my toe, want daar sal geen dood meer wees nie.
Ile lipungame amuko soka ita eso ita rikakara poe.
Op droefheid en geween en moeite sal daar nie meer wees.
Omari no pagita kakara poe.
Omdat die eerste dinge verby gegaan het.
Soka aifeo ya kwa pikuru ya kita.
En met sy opstanding uit die graf het hy gesê, ek alles het niet geword.
No me yumu kwa jeskuza numbira kwa tu pare atumbura kuja ai pikuru ya kita ipeo ya koroka.
Daarom kom ons glo in die opgestande God.
Kenana na pitale ni Christus om yumu kinongo kayo mudwa kusi.
Hy het vir ons die losprys al klaar betaal.
Oye, pakuta ungunga etu nare lojo de tu odayo tingma.
En nou mag die vrede van God, wat al ons sin en harte bewaar, in Christus Jesus onze Here. Amen.